Hey, this is Jeff. Thanks for checking out my video. Welcome if you're new, welcome back if you're not. This is another video in my series Discovering Kelowna. So I've set myself the challenge of seeing all 203 Kelowna city parks within 1 year. And now we're coming to the end of winter and things are going well. I'm on pace. This week we are on the benches. So we're going back to East Kelowna to see a couple of the parks I missed last time I was here, if you remember that. And then we're heading east and then southeast to culminate in the one I'm super excited about today, KLO Creek Regional Park. So it's always nice to see a creek and a forest and go for a nice walk. So hope you come along and see what I can show you. Hey, so here I am in my first park of the day. This is Fairhall Park. So we're now down in the Hall Road neighborhood. So this is a neighborhood that's kind of on the western edge of the terrace. So we're kind of on the edge of the Mission Creek Valley, actually. So as you probably know, the terraces are cut by Mission Creek, and this is the left bank, right? So we're on the east side of Mission Creek, across from various agricultural lands, and then the Mission, and then the lake. So I think there were a lot of people putting in houses here maybe in the 60s. There's some older houses with really big lots and things, but a lot of the subdivision that we're in right now was put in the 80s. So this park kind of reminds me of some of the neighborhood parks I saw in Rutland. It is in the middle of a circle of houses, so there's no streets on any sides of this park, right? All the sides of the park are lined by people's backyards, and a lot of them have little gates in their fences that lead to the park, so it's quite charming. Already, since I've been here, I've seen a lot of local kids coming and playing in the playground, so it's well protected, not small, and a well-used park. So I don't know if you want to come from across town to visit it, but it's definitely worth a look. It is a Fairhall Park. Hey, so here I am in my second park of the day. This is Johnson Road Park. So we're still in the Hall Road neighborhood, a little bit down the hill from the last one we were in, last park, Fairhall Park. And this is an interesting park. I mean, first of all, it is a big neighborhood park. You can see behind me, it's taken up by a huge soccer field, and is also a playground in the northwest corner. But it actually only occupies maybe 1/3, maybe 1/4 of a larger lot. So all in front of me, there's this other western half of this lot, which is not an officially designated park. And I noticed from the city's website that the park, which you see behind me, is also not actually zoned as park. This whole lot is zoned as agricultural, which is the initial underlying zoning, if you can think of it that way, of all of Kelowna. So 150 years ago, people started preempting the land. They had these big sections, and you can still see them on the city's map, and they're all zoned as agricultural until they get rezoned as something else. So it doesn't mean it's part of the ALR. So I'm assuming this is a big lot that the city owns that they haven't decided what to do with, and they probably decided, hey, let's just make this corner a park. I don't know. I find these kind of mysteries really interesting, because as a person who just moved here less than a year ago and who doesn't have all the lore and all the local things, these quirks of zoning and land use, they fascinate me. So I'm just trying to put my own stories together. I think it's really neat. Another interesting thing about this park is that ahead of me to the west, across that other half of this lot, there's a street, and then across the street is Mission Creek Regional Park. So if you remember my walk to Mission Creek Regional Park, the first half, when I saw the south and southeast parts of the park, we visited the children's fishing pond. This is right across the street from the children's fishing pond. And if I'd known that at the time, I probably would have visited this park then. But this whole project is a learning experience, which is part of what's really great about it. So anyway, this is a big park. There's a lot of nice ponderosa pine trees around here. One of the great things about this neighborhood, this Hall Road neighborhood, is that they left a lot of the original ponderosa pine trees along behind people's backyards and along the streets, and especially in the west half, where people have huge estate lots with ponds and different things. There's lots of trees left and lots of semi-natural spaces that animals can hide in and travel from and to, and that's all really great to see. So I've really enjoyed my visit to Johnson Road Park. Hey, so we're just coming up McCulloch Road on our way from East Kelowna to Southeast Kelowna, and they had this pullout because there's an amazing view, so I thought I'd share it with everybody. So here we are looking east, I guess, maybe southeast, towards West Kelowna. Right in front of us, in the middle of the shot, is Mount Boucherie. So that's one of the main features of West Kelowna. If I turn a little bit, you can see more and more of Kelowna until there we are. That's all downtown Kelowna and the mountains across the lake. Of course, in front of me is a golf course that used to be an orchard. If I look over here, if you watched my video on East Kelowna, that's the commercial core, the town center of East Kelowna over there. And if you see the building with the kind of pale green roof, that's the bathrooms at the East Kelowna Park. So, of course, beyond beyond downtown, we can see Knox Mountain. That's the lower hill with no snow on it, and then of course the hill above it is across the lake. And if we look this way, we can see Dilworth Mountain. And if I look all the way the other way to the extreme southeast, then we see Okanagan Mountain. You can see it's all bare because of the fire. And over here we see where I was last week, and just below those peaks is Kettle Valley. So maybe that looks familiar. But it's an amazing view, and I wanted to share it with you. Hey, so here I am coming to you for my third park of the day. This is Summerside Park. So this is a fairly substantial and interesting neighborhood park adjacent to the Gallagher's Canyon development. So on this side of the street, on the west side of the street where Summerside Park is, this neighborhood was developed in the early 90s, and across the street in front of me to the east is the Gallagher's Canyon development, which was developed in the mid 90s. And it's one of those golf course oriented subdivisions. So you got just like at Tower Ranch, we saw a golf course woven around the streets. So everyone almost has a golf course in their backyard, and it's not hard to find a fairway to practice your golf. So this neighborhood park is great. It's not only got a playground and a picnic table, but it has a baseball diamond and it has a tennis court. And because it's on a slope, the western half of the park, which is the sloping half of the park, has a lovely trail through the woods, which was an unexpected delight. So went for a nice walk up and down the hills. And you know, I think that would be even nicer maybe on a hot summer's day. I don't know. But it was a great addition, and it makes this park really stand out. It's a cut above your postage stamp neighborhood park. So I really enjoyed coming here, and you know, I'd come here just for the trail. Summerside Park. Hey, so here I am coming to you from my fourth and final park of the day, the amazing KLO Creek Regional Park. Did I know it was going to be amazing? Of course I did. These regional parks are great. And I would say this one is easily the equal of Mill Creek Regional Park. You know, I had a good time there. I always love to walk along a creek. That one had an amazing waterfall. This one also had a great creek, and it also had a similarly coastal seeming ecosystem with lots of red cedars, and even, to my delight, western yew, which I did not expect. But it also had the delightful surprise of these amazing canyon walls just rising on both sides of you. Red, yellow, brown colors mixed in with the gray rock, and just in these sheets and these layers, and it was really beautiful. And so, you know, there's wet delights and dry delights in this park. It's advertised as a 4-season park, and I can really see why. Here I am at the end of winter, and there's been much less melting here than in the rest of the city, but it was a great trail for the winter. Just to say a bit about the creek, you know, KLO Creek ends its journey at Mission Creek down in Scenic Canyon Regional Park, and you can walk up a bit of it there. But when you get to McCulloch Road, south of McCulloch Road, you're in KLO Creek Regional Park. So I walked through here. There's about almost 2 kilometers of trail along the creek through this beautiful canyon. And when you get to the end of that 2 kilometers, there's no sign to tell you that you're at the edge of the park. The park just ends, and I look around and I didn't see any kind of signs or anything, but I could tell from the GPS that I was at the edge of the park. Then there is a lot, so another 2 kilometers with about, it's not protected. And then you come to the edge of Myra Bellevue Provincial Park. Many people might not realize, but when you're up at the Myra Canyon trestles in the provincial park, you're going around that Myra Canyon, all those streams that you're crossing on those bridges collect at the bottom of that canyon and become KLO Creek. And in fact, 100 years ago, it was known as Canyon Creek. Something else that's interesting to see on this creek is the old siphon. So it's a huge pipe built in 1913 to bring irrigation water from hydraulic lake up in the mountains up by McCulloch Station down across the creek and over to the benches. It was built by the KLO company because they were developing that land for orchards and they needed to get the new orchardists some water. So at first, when the Lakeems owned the land, I think they tried to get the water out of KLO Creek. But when the KLO company came in, they developed this siphon, this huge tube, you know, that comes down across the canyon. So it's quite fascinating. That tube was in use until 1970. So it's a ruin now, and there's a tree that's fallen on it and everything. But it's fun, you know, to find ruins in the woods. So that's something else. And you know, if you're wondering, the edge of the park is just beyond the siphon. So the trail continues. It was super enticing. I wish I had more time to take it today, but I'm here to see the park and I'll come back. And apparently you can hike all the way up into Myra Canyon through that trail. And there's a popular turnoff to Angel Springs, but that would involve basically climbing the canyon wall. So I'm not sure it's for everybody, but this park is a great park, great place to come for a walk any time of year. I'll be coming back in the summer to see what else is growing here, and I hope you check out KLO Creek. Hey, so there you go. That was my walk for this week. I saw 4 parks, which is great because it keeps me on pace. Over in East Kelowna, just down the hill from East Kelowna, we saw Fair Hall Park and the Johnson Road Park over in the Hall Road area. Then we headed across the bench to the other side over to southeast Kelowna, and up near Gallagher's Canyon we saw Summerside Park, which had a delightful trail that I did not expect to find. Then we headed down southeast of there to the hairpin turn in McCulloch Road where it crosses KLO Creek, and we went for a nice walk in the woods in KLO Creek Regional Park, which was as wonderful as I thought it would be. I look forward to exploring the rest of this creek and seeing more of this cool canyon. I hope you enjoyed what we saw this week. I hope it inspired you to get out and either see some parks in Kelowna or see some parks wherever you are. I bet wherever you are, there's creeks and mountains and forests and different things you can check out, and any parks down the street from you that you may not have fully appreciated before, but there's always some, even if you're just walking around the block. So anyway, this is Jeff. I hope you had a good time. I hope you consider liking this video if you liked it, and consider subscribing to my channel. I put out a new video every Friday about parks in Kelowna right now. Who knows what series I'll do in the future, but please leave some comments if you have anything to say about what I saw this week, if you are a Kelowna native and you know this area. Otherwise, hold tight and I will see you next Friday.